Hey now, everybody. So, once again, last minute stream. I didn't have time to tell everybody about it. But originally I was going to do this stream after I heard Leaf King call in. If anybody watched Elisa's stream earlier today, Leaf King called in and there was a good back and forth. And I wanted to put some context onto that because I feel like a lot was said to people that don't really know what the story is. And in the meantime, Leaf actually connected with me. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to talk to Leaf. Me and Leaf are going to have a back and forth. I'm not going to play the video yet. After that, I'm going to go through the video and break down everything that was said earlier on Elisa's stream. So we have J Prime backstage and then a couple other people, I think. But for right now, it's just going to be me and Leaf King. Hi, Leaf. Hi, New Leaf. Can you hear me?
Hey, I hear me.
Okay, you do have a little, yeah, there's a little connection problem. I don't know what it is.
Okay, fuck.
But you're good now, so let's just go.
Try. Are you sure?
Yeah, you sound perfect now.
Okay.
I want to give you the floor. I just want to give you the floor. Anybody that heard you tonight, a lot of your friends know the backstory. When you first called in, she asked if it was Leaf and you said no, but I knew that it was you.
Yeah.
And I don't blame you for saying no. Can you just tell us your version of what happened?
Okay, so yeah, I do regret trying to do a fake voice. You know, that's not me. I'm not a performer like other people. But yeah. So what triggered me to call today was Gonzo's call actually when he's, I agree with Gonzo about stay cringe and it's very uncomfortable to watch, and I agree with him about that. But then when he was talking about Spartan's this alpha male, and that's why Elisa's attracted. Like, I just want one person to explain to me how he is an alpha male and what's there to be attracted to.
Right.
Explain to me what is an alpha male, Weezy. Just because he curses people out, like, have we seen him beat anybody up? No, he's not a tough guy.
I don't agree.
He weighs 90 pounds, soaking wet.
I don't agree that he's an alpha.
I don't know why that triggers me, but it does.
Yeah, I think that okay, so I know lots of women that like horrible men. I think Elisa falls into that category. Not for every man, but she likes a horrible man right now. It's not because he's an alpha male. It's because he's mean to her. She likes that he's fucking a dickhead to her.
But because she hates herself. So she hates anyone that cares about her or offers her good advice or anything like that. She does. Like, even her own mother. That's just a fact.
Do you think she hates it, or do you think she just very much resists it with every fiber of her being? Because it feels like, if you want my perspective of what happened today, I have never seen anybody get that hurt. I have never seen anybody get Elisa worked up the way you did. She obviously, you can't tell by her words, but she obviously cares about you because you can really get to her.
I just think she respects my opinion. Because, there have been other instances. Like, I remember when Bob Levy got swatted, and I was just sick about her stuff, and I snapped about that. And Elisa sort of took his side, and I didn't. And she's always done that. Like, anytime, like, okay, I was wrong for this one. I admit I was wrong for this, but I'm gonna just bring it up. When I had a little issue with SSS, Elisa made it a point to start going in there more, going in their VC. Just like trigger me. When I had an argument with, I remember, this is the small thing, but I remember I had an argument with Doug about the vaccines, and I know Elisa agrees with me about the, but she took that and conversation. So they tried for some reason.
Leaf, I mean, I think I heard most of you there.
VC
You're having some connection problems, unfortunately.
Yeah,
why don't we try to have you?
Can you explain to them, like,
out real quick?
Can you explain to them?
Yeah,
how,
I'll explain. Sure. Yeah. Okay. So Leaf's having problems right now with his internet, and so he's calling on mobile. And so what I'm going to do is have him restart and come back up, and hopefully that connection will be better. So Leaf, I'm going to kick you from the studio and then come right back up. You guys can't hear anything. Okay. So if this happens again, then we'll try something different. He doesn't have internet at his house right now. He's waiting for them to come service it, and so he just has data on his phone. And of course, backstage, I heard every word because that's how Murphy's Law works. Welcome back.
Okay, is that better?
Much better. Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry about this, guys.
Don't be sorry. This is important for you to get your words out. So I'm just going to be quiet. I'm going to let you talk.
Well, I forgot what point I was making. That
just basically that she kind of does the opposite of what if you're basically taking a stance.
Like she never has my back or anything like that. So, which that does make me believe like she's telling the truth. Like she never did like me. Just when I think about stuff like that, because that's what happened with the VC. Like that night I went to VC, and most of you watching this heard it when I got really upset. I went in there, we were talking about Judy, we were having a nice conversation, and then Spartan comes up and he starts telling me all the stuff Elisa said about me. And so she just starts taking his side. Yeah, I did say that. I didn't say that, but I did say this. And then when I asked her, why did you say that? She got super defensive and started screaming at me. And so
yeah,
I
saw that.
She has a lot of harbored resentment towards me.
She has resentment towards you. I agree with you, and I don't know why she has the resentment because I don't know your guys' personal. I'm a newcomer, but like a lot of people are way newer than me. But I've only been in this community for a year and a half. You and her have had a relationship for a long time, so I'm not even going to begin to pretend I know the dynamics.
Well, I think she says it. She expects me to be unconditional. She doesn't, and as soon as I don't do that, boom, I'm this, I'm that. It's not right.
Right. Now you have people that are just people that don't know you saying that you played yourself. I have to disagree. Leaf has been able to set aside his feelings for Elisa often and help her with her show before this show.
Yeah.
A lot of you are new. You guys don't know that before the IRL, she had a show for 2 years that Leaf basically behind the scenes, Leaf was a major player. He was booking all the interviews, giving out detailed outlines for everything, doing all of the research. Of course, Elisa's brilliant at what she does, and she didn't need Leaf, but she definitely benefited off of working with Leaf. Leaf has been a major contributor, second to nobody, with Elisa and her show. He's been overly supportive, and Elisa has taken his niceness and she's accepted his help. When this all goes sideways, she basically says, well, I didn't need you anyway. I've never valued you. I don't believe her. I think Leaf believes her that he's never been valued by her. I don't believe that for 1 second.
Well, she's bipolar, so I'm sure there are times, where she did appreciate me.
I mean, I gotta say,
how she truly feels.
She definitely appreciated you, Leaf. Hi, Nookie Nish. Very nice of you. She definitely appreciated you. I know that.
And the thing, like she says, it goes back 10 years. She says it goes back 10 years. Okay. There were times when after she left Benji in New York, she went to Los Angeles, and she went through some really hard times where she was practically homeless. And I was basically her only friend at the time, and I was helping her, sending her financial help and all that kind of stuff. And I wasn't asking for anything back. I wasn't asking for any romance or anything like that, because she's right too that I am a fan and I care about her in that aspect. But yeah, I had other feelings for her too, and I don't like saying she took advantage of me because I'm grown. I know myself for my decisions, and she would be stupid not to step help. So I can't blame her for that. I agree with that. But I do think she lacks gratitude. She lacks appreciation, and she doesn't. She refuses to see that I had her best interest at heart when it came to the Spartan situation. With the captain situation, she's lying about that entire thing. I don't know why she keeps lying about it, even after I proved with DMs and all that kind of stuff. I admit I was a little jealous, but I flat out told her, look, if you really have feelings for this guy, I will support him. I will help him. I would help try and get him more involved with Kermit and Friends. She's like, no, 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 no. I want you to, we're going to tear this guy down. And this was her plan. And she loves seeing him struggle right now. And she talks about how she wants to help him. And that's why she's reaching out to him. No, the reason why she's reaching out to him is because she wants Spartan to snipe and possibly create a very chaotic and dangerous situation. That's her end game with that situation. Trust me. I can read what she's doing.
I think it was very unfair for her to be disingenuous tonight when she was basically denying that you were supportive during the captain thing. You were overly supportive during the captain thing, even though you were jealous of him. And let's just be honest, you have been, I don't want to speak for you, but I feel like you have been in love with Elisa at times. And when you see her with other guys, it makes you jealous. But instead of being a little jealous baby, you put it aside and you said, hey, I'm going to help with this. And she said, no, harness that energy. Let's tear him down. That happened.
She used me as she's a puppeteer, and that she used me as a puppet in that situation because it was the only good content that came from that entire situation. Because like Captain is boring. He's a great guitar player. You know, he does have a little charisma. He's good looking, but he's boring. Yeah, that's why he can't keep viewers.
Gucci's or without Cheeto.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, him alone. I mean, that's why he has 60 viewers now. I mean, not that I have more, but that's how he is. So I agree with you. I just felt that tonight's call, your call to her, what struck me is that she replied with a ton of emotion and anger, and she got more worked up talking to you than she ever does with anybody else. To me, that tells me that there's feelings there, that not that she's romantically interested or anything like that, but that she's protecting herself from the truth and how she truly feels, because she is being disingenuous to the point of having to just bark at you and say things that aren't fair to make you look a certain way. Hi, Shamrock, my favorite. To make you look a certain way, which I don't think is fair. And that's why I was going to do this show, and I was going to go through your call to her, and I was going to give my opinion. Now, my opinion could be wrong. I could be speaking out of my ass right now, but I've been around long enough to see my opinion and views on things. And Leaf, you've been nothing but fair to me and supportive to me through this entire situation. I make mistakes. I do dumb shit. I know I do. Leaf, you've had my back the entire time. You've never given me a reason not to have your back. I've told you when I thought things I didn't agree with, but we're both mature adults, so we can have mutual respect. And that's why I felt that I needed to do this anyway, with or without you, to kind of put out your perception or my perspective of like where you're coming from. But you being able to come on here is just like really great, because for some people, maybe that are even listening now, that's the first time they've ever even heard you talk, you know? And like, please, Mike D has a great question, and I know you have a great answer, but why did you say retard to her? Why did you call her a retard?
So I do have a bad habit of overusing that word. I don't know why, but I do. And Elisa's called me retarded before. So like the other day, or not the other day, but a couple weeks ago, she was, she called me a black retard. She's telling everyone I'm black. And she said, oh, you're retarded for even thinking Captain and I were talking about you. So if you weren't talking about, what does that make Captain that he's saying that y'all were talking about me? So I can believe him. You should get mad at him for, if he's lying, you should get mad at him for lying, not at me for questioning it. Right. And then with Spartan, the same thing. All I did was question it. And then when the truth finally came out, she exploded on me for it. So she's always getting angry at me and letting the people who are supposedly lying get off scot-free.
Well, that's an important point to make too, is that earlier you were telling her, hey, Spartan said you were talking about me. And Elisa said, I wasn't talking about you to Spartan, but Spartan has said that. Spartan's told everybody.
Yeah, and she said it. When we talked in that VC, she came on and she admitted it.
So that's,
and then when I showed that, when I showed I got a, when I asked her a follow-up question about it, she exploded. And Gov, Gidgy, and Pixelbat were in there that I can remember, and they can all vouch for this. I wish the whole thing was recorded. Unfortunately, it wasn't.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know you to be like making stuff up like that for any reason. There's no benefit of you doing that.
Yeah,
I mean,
she's the liar, dude. Everybody knows she lies.
but thank you. So yeah, I mean, that call, I was listening, me and Meat Truck Mike and Trixie and High Pitch Eric were all listening together
Oh
to the
yeah.
stream today. And when this happened, I was telling them that it made me sad because I love you and I love Elisa. I'm proud of you for calling and speaking your mind because it's important to speak your mind. But
Well,
it
I
hurt my
regret calling out.
feelings. I know
Like
you do.
it was Gonzo. For some reason, Gonzo triggered me. I don't know why, but yeah, that got to me. I wish I wasn't watching in the first place.
Yeah. I mean, it just made me sad. It's like watching your parents fight or something like that. Like I wish that you and Elisa could have disagreements that weren't so intense and volatile, but them being so intense and volatile, tell me there's something that
She's the
most
one
of
who
us
always
don't know.
escalates it to that, though. She's the one that escalates it with the name calling and making up lies. So
Yeah. And I
at least,
mean,
like even if I'm wrong, I'm giving my sincere truth opinion. So even if I'm wrong about something, I didn't make it up for ill intent. I'm expressing how I feel. Whereas she makes shit up just to make a person look bad, and that's very wrong.
now you don't think Elisa's a bad person. You just think that she's going down a
I
road
think
of
she's become a bad person. Yeah,
really.
that caller, Carl called in. He said, "Oh, first of all, I admit that I'm a retard too. Like I've always called myself a retard. So, and that's one of the reasons why I overuse the word because I call myself that all the time. But yeah, I do think she's made a turning point these past couple months that isn't good. I mean, it might be good for her streaming, even though I do think the route she's on is going to eventually fizzle out because she keeps burning every bridge and she's just not going to have anyone to stream with. And she doesn't have the confidence to stream by herself.
Oh, I feel that.
So,
I don't either. Yeah, I mean, okay, so I can see your perspective and perception of that for sure. To me, it's a lot less like written in stone. I do see her compromising some things that I didn't think she would compromise, but I also don't understand Elisa like you guys do. Like I'm
yeah,
still learning her. She has this ability to really engage with people in a way where you're like, oh my God, it's masterful. What is she doing? And she keeps you guessing.
no, well, she's
So
going crazy. Like people think it's all a script, but I'm telling you, it's not a script. She's going crazy.
I don't think it's a
Yeah.
script. I really don't. Like I made
like
it
like
clear.
watching that police that when she was in the restaurant, right? Like that was a crazy person being
Yeah.
chased by another crazy person. Like, and she's called the cops. Okay, she's filed a police report on him. That's one. She got Bob to call the cops on him. That's two. The day when she was with Lala, she tried to call the cops on him. That's three. And then at the restaurant, that was four. That was her fourth time calling cops on this guy. At night, she's on the phone with him for many hours, kissing his ass and begging him and to come back. And then with same thing with Egypt Beauty, she gets scammed twice or three times now. And then that same night, she's trying to work things out and have her back on, even though she says she's done. Like this is crazy, insane, bipolar behavior. Like she admits that she's bipolar, but she can't take accountability how crazy she's acting right now.
I want to just
And
say
it's
this
all
to
going to lead
Jay.
down a very dark path. I know it is.
Sorry, Leaf. Jay, no, I'm not in love with her. I love Elisa, I do, but I'm not romantically in love with her at all. I think that she is a very polarizing, captivating person. I think we all do. That's why we all watch her. I don't think Leaf is just jealous. I think that there is some jealousy that was there. Now I think it's disappointment. I think
Yeah.
Leaf, you hold
I
her
mean,
to a high
like Elisa
standard.
can go, she could go hook up with Spartan. I don't care at this point.
Right.
Like, I don't care what she does.
Is it fair to say that you're disappointed in her because of some expectation of what you thought she could be and her potential, and she's falling short of that by kind of taking the path of least resistance?
Yeah, like I was trying to make the point to her with JJ. She flipped the fuck out. But that time when she was with JJ at Comic Con, she did catch feelings for him. She was singing them love songs. I donated the love songs for her to sing because she was requesting it. And then she tried to move him in that night. She wanted him to move in. So I had no problem with that because I look at Jay like if that happened this past summer, I would have had a problem with it. Lisa, what the fuck are you doing? This is crazy. But after watching him on her stream a couple times, JJ was very nice and respectful. So he didn't abuse her at all. He was selfless. He didn't stream himself. And I think of him as an artist, so I respect that aspect of him as well. And he brought value, like he really raised the viewership up. So I saw all these good qualities in JJ. And the only issue is that he's young. He's young, and he has a. But I could look past the age thing. I think everybody should. But he also has a girlfriend now.
Yeah, well, I think he had a girlfriend then, right?
Well, I think if I remember right, Elisa said when they were together, that girl was sending him new pics to make her jealous. So
see, I disagree with you, but I don't know. I mean, this is just my opinion. I don't think that she had a crush on him. I think that she was playing into it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think it was genuine.
I mean, that's possible, but she was willing. Trust me when I say she was willing to try and make it work. She was willing to let him live with her and for them to be partners.
Yeah, I mean, I just didn't see it like that. I thought she would just be like, "Hey, you need a place to stay. You can stay at my place, and maybe you can pay a little rent."
No, you got to rewatch it. I'm telling you.
I will.
In fact,
I will.
There's a short video of it on her channel. The second half of that Comic-Con thing. Go see, and you'll see what I'm talking about.
Are you going to continue to watch Elisa? Are you taking it? Because I know that you've taken a big break from everything.
Yeah.
And what? I know what compelled you to call in tonight, but have you been watching everything kind of from afar?
Well, I'm not one of those people that goes, I'm not watching that. I'm not like I'm too good now. But I've been watching like I was light bulb struck just in my house and I didn't have power for a week. So I was not watching fully. I was only skimming through it mostly through replays. But then when I didn't have power, I didn't have nothing but phone. I was bored and I got back into it and I was checking Discord more often than I was the week before.
Is that the real Elisa in the chat? I hope not. Elisa, please come up here and talk to Leave. This is not good. I don't want you guys to throw shots at each other.
What'd she say? I didn't see.
Nothing. She didn't say anything. She said that you're slow. And I don't agree with her on that. I think that Elisa is hurt by.
I've always said I'm not a great public speaker. Like I type better than I talk.
You're sharp, Leaf. Everybody knows you're sharp. I mean, if you want to mistake his Southern accent for dumb, that's a stereotype.
That's why she's a bigot. She's a bigot. Just like how she denies, like she told all her racist fans that I'm black in hopes that they would attack me. She goes on this tirade about people from the South. Like she's so much better than everyone. She talks about poor people all the time. Like she's never been poor herself. She's a hypocrite in every fucking insult she makes. But yeah, I admit my shortcomings at least. Like I know I wish I was a better public speaker. Like, since I was a kid, I had an issue like speaking in front of the class and stuff. Like that's just
me too.
I don't know why I'm like that, but I am.
I was petrified. My voice would shake. My whole body would shake. It was hell.
I still made a life for myself, and I have my own house. I've had many jobs. I helped Kermit and Friends more than anyone she could have ever dreamed to have help her. So whatever.
Do you think that you and Elisa can be friends again in the future, and that you can put all of this behind you, and then maybe just kind of take a step away from being as involved as before? Do you think that the reason that this is occurring now is because you have invested a lot emotionally into it?
I would say, to answer the first question, can we be friends again? I don't think so. Because I think the more I watch, because I can't like just be friends and not have that emotional attachment. So that's an issue on my side. Like she talked about, the one thing she's right, you can't help who you love or who you care about to that extent.
Right.
So if we're friends, then I'm still going to have those feelings for him. That's not healthy for me, especially knowing she has so much, she looks down on me so much like I'm a peasant. And I could be friends with her if she's like nice and she respects me and she's nice, and I could handle just being friends while also having these other feelings for her. But having these other feelings for her while she looks down on me and talks down on me, like that. Like, I have a little more respect for myself
Right.
than that. Like, I won't take the abuse. Like, she has to be nice to me if she wants me to be nice to her, but I don't think she's capable, because now there's always going to be that doubt. Oh, this is fake. She just wants me to help.
I think that the fake part is that she never cared. I think that when she says she never valued you, that's the fake part. I've talked to her about you. She's talked publicly about how much she did value you.
Yes, but see, I think that's where the bipolar thing comes in. She believes now that she never did, so that makes it so in my mind.
Yeah,
that
I
she
look
believes
at it
now.
I'm far enough
She
removed that I don't think so. I know that you think that, Leaf, and I'm not saying you're wrong. But what I see from an outsider's perspective is that she has to say that to not only protect herself, but to make people take her side. And a lot of these people don't know you. And there's a lot of new subscribers. There's a lot of new people that are hearing you for the first time when you called in today. And she can easily just say, oh, that's just some crazy guy that has loved me for 10 years and he never really did anything for me. That's all a lie. You did a lot for her and she definitely appreciated it because she told us all that she appreciated it. I don't think she believes that you never helped her now. I think that she's needs to say that to not only save her own feelings a little bit, because this might make Elisa mad, but when you called, she got very worked up. And if she didn't care about you, she would not have gotten that worked up. You do not let people that you don't care about rile you up like that. There is something under the surface that a lot of us don't know because we're not Leaf and we're not Elisa that makes her crazy and really defensive when you get under her skin. And today, when you got under her skin, I saw people in the chat being like, whoa, like she's going off, you know, and she was going off because there's definitely something under the surface. Like, I'm not saying she likes you, but you guys have had a long friendship. And I don't think that she likes fighting with you. And I think that you really affect her in ways that other people can't because there's so much history there.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know, man.
And look what,
like, I don't care what her new fans think of me. Or, like, that doesn't really bother me. But obviously, her opinion means a lot to me, and it hurts me. And I'll never know how she truly feels now, though. Like, that bridge has been burned. That trusting anything she has to say, because like and it is mean for me to keep bringing and standing the bipolar thing, but that's what she is right now. And how she feels at this moment is how she feels. I don't know how she'll feel tomorrow. I don't know how she felt a couple months ago, but right now, as she feels, is very fucked up. And as long as she always feels like that, because I'm not going to go out of my way to try and repair a friendship if the friendship even existed in her mind.
That's not at all. Cloudscape, this guy's known her forever, way longer.
Yeah, that's another point I want to make. Like, guys, for 8 years, if I wanted to do anything, like, I have money, I can go travel, I would never do anything to hurt Elisa. If I want to hurt her channel, I don't do that. I'm not vindictive in that way. I'm just speaking. That's it. I'm just giving my side. I'm giving my truth. I'm not looking to tear her down. I'm not looking to hurt. I would never put her in harm's way. The worst thing I do is, I tell her, please go do this content with Spartan, because I know it'll end badly, which, I struggle with myself, because they're like, that's where I feel like I'm a little bipolar, because there's a sound I'm very concerned. Then there are these other times where I get angry and I'm like, man, I hope she does go out there and get what's coming to her by being so stupid. And I feel bad for thinking that way. So I'm just like, I struggle with that too. So,
well,
but I would never hurt Elisa. I would never cross any boundaries of, like, stalking her or calling her. Like, I haven't messaged her today's call, like, it was like triggered by Gonzo's call. I really wish I didn't have done it. But you don't have to worry about me, like, stalking or harassing her.
No.
Becoming one of those people.
Not at all. Everybody knows that. I mean, you're today surprised me when you called. It surprises me when you guys fight. I wasn't in Discord when you guys were having those VC fights, but I heard some recordings of them. That surprised me.
Yeah, that surprised me too, because we were having a normal, nice conversation, and then he came in, and then she just started piling
Alex,
on.
what do you mean trying to twist it? How am I twisting it, you little rascal? Gonzo and Leaf are friends.
And these people not from their normal accounts. No, not the song, Gov. I'm talking about his call. Like I love the Gonzo song. I had it paid to have it covered.
Thank you so much, J Prime. You're the best. I'm not a yes man at all. I'm sure Elisa's kind of upset with me for this. And I love Elisa. She knows it. We don't share the same opinion all the time, but I am not a yes man. I happen to agree with Elisa a lot of the time. So people always call me a simp and or a yes man. But today I felt like that Leaf was kind of given a bad reputation just based on that call, making him look like something that he's not.
Well,
I don't think that was fair. I don't think that Leaf should just be discarded and thrown to the wayside because of his feelings about something. I don't think that's what's going on, but that was the perception of it. Love you, Weezy, but it's black and white. She hates him. He got used. I don't think so at all. I don't think Elisa hates Leaf at all. If Elisa hated Leaf, she would have never reacted the way that she did earlier. There's something there as far as a friendship that can be saved. I know that Leaf looks at this situation as something that can never be repaired. I don't. I think that, Meat Truck, I am going to play the call, but I'm going to play it after Leaf leaves because Leaf doesn't want to listen to it. I don't blame him. I hate listening to myself too. I don't blame him. I have J Prime, and then I'll share the link if you guys want to come up afterwards and we can go over it. Because I don't want to be in an echo chamber here. I'm sure there's other opinions, and I want everybody to be able to talk about it. Anybody that has any kind of feel for it. Eric and Leaf, there's no comparison at all. Eric is completely different approach, and he was pathetic today. Eric was.
Well,
I didn't like seeing.
Well, we have to remember too. The reason why it's hard for me to be tough on Eric, he's not fully up there. Like he's not 100%. Fully functional. So, and I felt really bad how used he was for Valentine's Day. And
that killed me.
Yeah.
I mean, and then today, did you hear him? He's like, well, so will I ever be able to lick your vagina? I'm like, Eric, dude, you cannot talk a girl into liking you. If you start to beg a girl to like you and be like, do you think you'll ever like me? That's probably the biggest turnoff in the world for a girl. And it solidifies her never liking you ever. I'm no girl, but I know that's not what they want.
And I want to say too, I don't think Eric, she got some calls saying that Eric's going to kill her and stuff. I don't think he's that bad, but yeah, it's very uncomfortable, that entire situation. And I think Elisa does try her, I'll defend her there. I do think she tries to let him down gently, and she doesn't know how to handle it. It's a very, I can't judge her for that situation. It's very hard.
No, she's great with that because she doesn't want to be hurtful and mean. And I think that's a great point to make. She's very quick to protect Eric's feelings, but she's fucking vicious when it comes to your feelings.
Exactly. And
that confuses me. And I know what you think about it. I know you think it's because she's never respected you and that she doesn't like you and that she tells the truth when she says, that's not what I think. I think that there's, like I've said 100 times, that there's just more to the picture that we all don't know about. I would love Elisa to speak about it. She never comes on my shows, but I would love her to speak about it because I'm just guessing at this point. But she's very quick to protect most people's feelings, but then she can be vicious with you. And I don't understand that at all.
See, my theory has been because she knows I'm my feelings for her are pure and that I see her as better than anyone else does. That's what I think. She knows my love for her is genuine, but it's not. I don't know. It's hard to explain, dude. This is where she's
Yeah.
right. I'm kind of slow. I can't. Like if I was sitting here typing it down, I'd be able to get it.
You're not
correct.
slow. Don't
Yeah.
let that get to you. Like you're not slow. Me and you can have better
No.
conversations than anybody that's ever been on this panel before with me. Like you're not slow at all. You speak your mind very, very, very well. So don't let that get to you. I know that's getting to you. It's just not
hard
true.
to explain. Like, yeah, right now, it's really fuck her.
I know that you feel that way, and I want people to know that this is not something that just happened right overnight. When I first met Leaf was probably like a September. That December, there was a big blow up between Elisa and Leaf. It subsided.
Yep, and I was right about that.
And they came back together again. And then there's been a couple other times. So this is a long time in the making. Leaf has worn his heart on his sleeve. He's been very, very honest and open about his feelings. I commend that. It's not easy to do on the internet when you know that everybody's going to use that against you as soon as they can.
It's one of those things I would love to say. It's because I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks, but obviously that's not the case. Otherwise, I'll put my camera on and all that kind of stuff. Right. But I do try to present myself in an honest way. Like I don't like to, it's funny. Like I'm not in another online community, but I do have these other friends like in a Discord like chat room, and they know everything about me except this. And then you guys know everything about me as it pertains to this, and this is such a huge part of my life,
Right. Yeah.
And it's weird, like juggling those two things.
I remember when we first talked, when you let me interview you the first time, you told me that, and I was surprised. I was surprised that you had another little community that doesn't know about Kermit and Friends.
Yeah, like if I put the Discord link in a Telegram chat right now, 20 people would join. They would all vouch for my friendship and my character and all that stuff.
I get it.
And they would destroy Elisa. I've seen this, but they would destroy me too for being such a quote unquote simp.
Yeah, and that's like the best part about all of this is that your involvement with Kermit and Friends was so significant that the people that are judging you now by just knowing you from the IRL world, they have no fucking clue how deep it goes. And so that surface level.
Yeah, even the IRL thing, like I was the one there at the start of it. She said, like I saw her say on the stream the other day, she had no one. I was the one in the chat, like really trying to build her self-esteem up, build her confidence up, donating and just help her keep going. But of course that counts for nothing now.
Is it okay if I bring up J Prime right now, Leaf?
Yes, I'd love to talk to him.
Okay, cool. I wanted him to be able to chime in while you were still here because we all love J Prime. Welcome, J Prime.
Hello.
Thank you for waiting. What do you think about all of this, J Prime? I know that you're a very neutral party and that you haven't been around for as long, but what do you think about all of this?
Specifically about Leaf calling it, or
yeah, just the situation with Leaf and Elisa. Yeah.
Well, one, it was unexpected, but I liked it because at first I thought everyone in chat was like, "Is this Leaf?" And I'm like, "Well, it sounds like him." And then as he went on, it was like, "Oh no, it is Leaf." Okay, I get it now.
Yeah, I wish I called in as myself originally.
Yeah, everybody knew though. I knew right away. I was like, "That's Leaf."
Well, it did, but I'm like, there's so many people that call in and they're really good impersonators. So sometimes it's like, there was that time a few months ago I thought Wheezy. I'm like, "Oh, Wheezy, you did a great call," and you're like,
I was like, "I didn't even call."
Yeah. I was like, "Well, you made good points if it was you." So, but no, I thought Leaf made a bunch of good points. Like I said, it was unexpected, but I think the overall impression I had this overall was Lisa seems to get this way a lot, and I said this to you when I was on Twitter. Like, there's clearly a connection between the two, and I've only been here since the summer, but I know Leaf with the clips and in the content that what he does a lot, and I get that. And when Elisa kind of backtracks and says like, "Oh, well, you haven't done shit for me, and you haven't blah blah blah," and I'm like, "You've clearly known this guy for so many years," which is fine, but it's really like Leaf has said things online and in text and on voice chat, but I think it was a lot of poignant points. It wasn't trying to degrade Elisa. Some of it was, and he apologized, but I think overall, Elisa took it as I think it's two people caring about each other, and it's over exasperated online because it's online.
My internet went all the way out. That was fast.
Oh,
Did
it's
it
But yeah,
go?
probably rambling
like
anyway.
like when I didn't criticize her at first about the Spartan thing. Like I was very
My
gentle.
banana.
I was like with how she is with Eric. I was trying to explain to her in a very nice way why this is not going to lead to anything good. And then when he said, she was saying stuff about me, yeah, like I originally gave her the benefit of the doubt, but I knew
Yeah.
she said it. I knew he wouldn't just randomly bring that up. So I was starting to harbor a little resentment, and that was when I started being a little bit more hard on her, calling her weak and pathetic for these phone calls. And yeah, so
I
but
think some of it's
originally I was
understandable.
trying to be a good friend about it.
I think some of it's understandable because I like now that I look back, I'm like, it's been 2+ months with this Spartan shit, like every stream, and I'm like, everyone's bored of it, but it is
It is
like the
15
fucking views
years.
go up, so it's like, how can you? But as someone that I genuinely love, Elisa is just doing her own thing. The Spartan thing, and Eric
Well, she
has just
she gets
gotten
more
too much fucking shit.
yeah, she gets more donations without involving Spartan than she does. Like when he was
Oh,
on the screen, she
definitely. Like people
like
always complain in Discord. They go, "Oh, she should stop the donos and whatever." It's like this is how she's making the money on the stream. This is what's
yeah,
so if you don't
that's the
like
only
her,
way
then
she can.
fucking look
Yeah,
someone else.
that's
Yeah,
the only way she
exactly.
can make this a job is just she makes money.
Yeah,
So you can't take away the things that give her money. But the
yeah.
Spartan thing does like hardly any donations
The
come in about
calls,
Spartan. Yeah,
the calls are too fucking Sparrow, my little Sparrow. Fuck you, I love you. Do Sparrow, and then it goes
yeah.
to the next call. It's like holy shit, fuck off. That
And, and
Kieran
she
or
doesn't know how
Kara,
to. And
whatever,
I
who was with him today was fucking awesome.
That's what I got to
He did
yeah.
not
say
put up
is
with that bullshit.
I have to say that it must take so much patience and talent to do
Oh,
that, to juggle it all. And
yeah.
so I'm sure that those nerves are frazzled. Like I would be a nervous wreck if I had to fucking worry about the people that are sitting right next to me, depending on if I'm allowed to talk to them to let a dono
Yeah.
play. And then when the people on the phone call have to hold on for the dono to stop playing, as soon as I get to
Well,
talk to the person on the phone, the dono plays again. And this guy's getting ignored the whole time. I wouldn't be good at that. She
well,
does it. She does it
well, the
really
thing is,
well.
what she needs to like. I told her this for a long time. She's not gonna do it, but she needs to do it like she did Cameron and Friends, where she take calls after a certain amount of time. Like
Yeah.
she could have interviewed that guy for about 30 minutes and then started taking calls. Like just
Yeah.
turn the phone off for a half hour.
I have to say, I know that she's making money doing this, so I'm giving like, of course, you go do your thing. But
Yeah,
I totally miss Kermit and Friends the
but
show, even if I had nothing to do with it, because my favorite part of Elisa is when she's interviewing people.
yeah, and
Can
Elisa
I
needs
say
to be
something
kept in
quick?
contact. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I totally agree with you, Weezy, because I I rarely see the stream right at the first few minutes, but when she started broadcasting, I happened to be home after work, and she opened up like, "Hey guys, I have an interview." Like it opened up like it was a Kermit and Friends episode, and I was
It is
like, "Oh,
banana.
this is going like it was before." And then
Yeah.
instantly the calls and the other bullshit with the text to stream. And I donated a few songs too because Law loves
Yeah.
to fucking
You're very
comment and a bunch of
supportive.
bullshit.
But
Yeah.
and
But
that's fun though. That's fun to like donate a song
oh
and
no,
see
it
her
is.
dance
But I
listening to
think,
it.
and I near the end I texted. I'm like, okay, there needs to be like 20 minutes to 30 where it's just her talking like it was before in Kermit and Friends because it's
Yeah.
getting too intrusive. Because yeah, there needs to be a side of that, but maybe the first 30 minutes interview him and then do this because that dude was there for 3 hours and maybe got in fucking 50
No,
words.
we found
Like,
out that he's a bottom and that he released a song. Other than that, I
yeah.
just know that he's a good trooper. I mean, he was very likable. A lot of people, it's always fascinating watching people in real time figure out what's going on and that the
Yeah.
callers are going to be horrible. The TTS is going to be just bottom of the barrel threats and
Yeah.
fucking yeah,
Oh,
it's
and that's
like
I can't believe still at this day that that's what's being on people's minds. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, it's so
anytime you
stupid.
get people anonymous on the internet, you're just,
Yeah.
that's what you're going to get. You're going to get that kind of
Oh
thing.
yeah.
But like I said, she does it so well. And I think that's why, listen, if Elisa wasn't good at what she did and she wasn't captivating and polarizing, we wouldn't be having this conversation with Leaf right now. Leaf has been a
Yeah.
great supporter of hers because he sees her talent. He sees what she does. And if I were to psychoanalyze what's happening right now, it's less of Leaf being personally hurt by her, not liking him back, and more of him seeing her go down a path that he doesn't want her to go down. He thinks
Yeah.
he thinks Elisa is going down and she's just like sacrificing her morals and ethics to fucking, and she's going to end in a dirty spot. I don't think that,
Yes.
but I think
Well-
that Leaf thinks that, and I understand why he does. And I think that's the main problem is he's so disappointed in her.
Yeah, well, I just want you to just look where Captain Content was in August and look where he is now. That can happen to anyone, and it is my prediction that's going to happen to Elisa with the way she's going. It may be even worse. So I hope I'm wrong, but that's how I see it. And she can get mad at me for voicing that opinion. But
Now let me play devil's advocate, because the reason I don't think so is because Captain Content is very boring. The only thing that made him not boring was Gucci's and all of the people that he had around him. Elisa's not boring, and she's also somebody that people are magnetized towards. Captain Content's not. He's lucky Gucci's was hanging around with him. He's lucky Cheetah was punching Danny in his RV for views. Those kinds of things are gone for Captain now, and Elisa's taken half of his audience. So I don't see Elisa going down the same track as Captain at all, but I do see her playing in the mud deeper and deeper and deeper as she goes, because
she's just going to piss a lot of people off, though. That's what she's going to do. That's what Captain did. He pissed his audience off, and I think she's going down that point where she's going to piss her audience off, and they're going to stop supporting her. Like, yeah, she's always going to be entertaining, and she's very beautiful, and it's hard to take your eyes off that. But if you keep pissing everyone that's watching off, they're not going to support you.
Right. And okay, so here's a question. If you could put your own personal feelings for Elisa aside, does this whole situation right now that's going on, is it that disappointment that's causing the frustration too? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a combination of everything, I think. She just doesn't listen to anyone. And that's frustrating. And part of that I admire about her. She's always going to march to the beat of her own drum. But
yeah, she's very headstrong. And yeah, if you tell her to do something, she'll do the opposite. I'm the same way. I can relate. I mean, I get that for sure. And that's
I do wrestle. I wrestle with these feelings where I do want to see her downfall after she's so mean to me. But then I feel bad for feeling that way. And then I start rooting for her. And that's why I try not to watch too much, because then I can't help but then to try to like give a little donation or like today I got triggered into calling in. So it would be best for me to just try and just cut it off, but I know I can't do that. I can't do that immediately, at least. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens in the next few months, but I'm not going to be participating much, obviously.
Right.
I'll just be watching like everyone else, I guess.
The fact that you called in today, I think it took her by surprise too. And I think
well, it took me by surprise. I was just, when Gonzo called, he was like, "Oh, she likes it out," because her face lit up when Gonzo said, "Oh, I understand why you like Spartan because he's an alpha male." Like, there's nothing. J Prime, is there anything alpha male about Spartan?
Leaf. I told when that was said, I don't know who the fuck I don't whatever the fuck Gonzo is.
Gonzo's a brilliant guy. I have nothing but respect for him.
Okay, no, that's fine. But when he said that, I'm like, alpha male, a guy that sporadically chats daily in fucking like Discord, 9 to 5, like it's his daily job, and then when he meets, he's sporadic. He keeps yelling. I'm like, no, this is not this. I couldn't understand that.
J Prime,
he's always crying. He's threatening to kill himself. He lives in a dump. No alpha male is that low in life.
Oh, and the way that he told you said you told me we were gonna fuck tonight. We were gonna have sex in a motel. I'm like, are you like prom night and you really wanted to get it in? Like, he's 47, he has 2 fucking daughters, he said.
Damn, he's even older than I am.
He's pathetic. This is like
he's mentally ill.
Bad boy.
He's no different than Eric.
Shout out to Smokey.
But the fact that Elisa likes, like, okay, whatever, she likes the bad boy. But you know what? How much time and energy has been wasted in the last months with this fuckhead, and vice versa?
But here,
some of it
stupid.
Let me say something.
Some of it is good content, so I understand that aspect of it, but it's just too much.
I want to say this because it frustrates me too to see somebody talk to her like that and she puts up with it.
I'm saying.
However, if that's this is going to sound stupid to some people, but if that's what makes her happy and that engagement, then it doesn't bother me. It bothers me because I feel like she should not let somebody treat her like that. But if she's
and it ruins
okay
her reputation. That's another thing. It just ruins her reputation to be attached to someone. Like if Drew Barrymore started dating David Duke, leader of the KKK or whatever, like people, that makes her a racist, right?
I see it differently, Leaf. Let me just explain, because I'm not disagreeing with you, but I see it differently because I've learned a long time ago that you shouldn't expect people to be any kind of way. Because when you expect them to be that way and they're not, then you're
letting yourself down.
Well, no, and also you think that they're tarnishing their brand or their, but you just don't know. You only know the version of them up until that point. I get what you're saying 100%, but I think Elisa's very unique in the way that I was surprised when she went on Captain Content's RV. I was shocked when she went on his RV. That place that had too. So she's always pushing that. But
that's one thing that she does that's also very annoying is that, you know, she's, I'm never going to do this. On the next day she does it. I'm never going to talk to Egypt Beauty again. She's talking to her that night, setting plans for the stream for the next day to get scammed again. Like, how stupid can you be?
You're fired 5 minutes later. Hello.
That's the definition of insanity. Like, look it up.
But
like, you keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, yet these same crazy people keep being crazy.
I agree with you, Leaf. That is the definition of insanity, but it's also a guaranteed way to get people engaged. And I think that that's calculated. When she says, I'm never going to let Egypt Beauty back here again, she rips me off. I don't think she believes it when she says that. I think she says that because she knows probably in 2 days, Egypt Beauty is going to be back on. And that's going to get people to be like, oh my God, Egypt Beauty's on again. And that's
but how soon do people get sick of that though, when it's the same thing over and over again?
Right. I can see that.
Like she says, like, I have the limited brain. I can't see the bigger picture, but she's doing the same storyline over and over and over again. It's working for now, but we'll see how it works months down the line.
We do have a legend backstage. I hope that he does.
No, you know what the thing about Elisa is? She would be into me if I had a sexy voice. That's how shallow she is. All she cares about is a voice, and she thinks Spartan's voice is.
You sound like a Southern man, and I love it. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, she thinks Spartan's voice is sexy, and that's the only reason why she's into him.
Before I bring this legend,
Benji had a good voice, and Gonzo had a good voice, and so she likes this. Like, all she cares about is a speaking voice. She doesn't care about anything else, which is odd.
I will say this. We do have an absolute legend backstage. Meat Truck Mike told me not to bring him up. I hope that he doesn't derail this conversation. I hope that we can talk about Leaf still and we don't have to talk about anything else. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Johnny B, Man Cave Live. Welcome, Johnny B.
What's up? Leaf's my buddy,
Johnny.
Man.
Yeah, I know that.
You know that, right?
What's your perception on all of this, Johnny B?
I think she takes a lot of people for granted when you really get down to it.
You think that she took Leaf for granted, and then today she kind of backed out of that and just said, "Hey, I've never been." Oh, B-Truck's really upset with you. I think you're getting fired from locker room talk right now.
Fine.
This can't be good.
It's Man Cave Live, anyways. It's not locker room talk.
Well, what about that second? We're getting off the beaten track.
Yeah, let's get back to talking about Leaf. This is about him. Leaf's a good friend. What's that?
Do you think? Oh. He got distracted. Johnny B, do you think that when Leaf, were you listening to the call today?
A little bit of it, yeah.
Not the whole thing?
No.
How could you look away?
I had other things going on, so, you know.
Wow. Unbelievable.
She's not treating him right. That's all there is to it. To take him for granted. Leaf's done a lot since this thing actually started.
She's right.
You know?
No, and that's what I was saying earlier. I mean, for Elisa to say that she didn't ever value him, I don't think she was telling the truth. I think she was saying that out of being hurt. And she's very hurt by Leaf calling in because I think she cares about what he has to say. I think Leaf leaving the community has really hurt her feelings, but she won't admit it. I think that's what's happening. I know that Leaf has feelings for Elisa, and I know those aren't reciprocated, but the way I've
always been fine with that for 8 years. That's why the jealousy thing doesn't hold up. Like, why hasn't this happened before? Like she says, it happens all the time. Okay, happened with Captain Content. I explained that situation, how she egged me on and she manipulated me, and she was a puppeteer that entire time. Now the Spartan thing is just different. Like, this is not a good guy to just be around, to have him dominate your show.
Well, there's a lot of us that'll miss you if you don't come around, Leaf.
I know I miss Leaf.
Well,
When
we
I
all
left
miss Leaf.
when I left Discord, I missed a couple of people, and Leaf was one of them. Because Leaf's one of the few people that have told me when he disagrees with me, and he says, "Hey, I don't always agree with you," but he tells me instead of
Yeah,
like harboring.
I try to be
resentment.
very gentle about it. Like,
Yeah,
I try to be honest but gentle, and that's how I was with Elisa until, like I said, when Spartan came out saying she was saying all this stuff about me, which really hurt. So then I started saying hurtful things myself.
I think that's an important distinction too, is that a lot of this is based on you being very honest that it really hurt your feelings. A lot of guys wouldn't admit to that. A lot of guys would just make up another reason. So I give you credit and kudos for being very honest with yourself and other people. And when you walked away, I think Elisa took that personally, but I think it was important for you to be able to do that because it gives you time and space to think about, what you want to do and how you feel about everything.
Well, you have to remember too, she never makes an effort to try to work things out with me. She never reaches out. She never tries to talk things out. So I can't be the only one always going to her, apologizing for something that I'm not even sorry for. And I'm sure she's not sorry, and that's why she doesn't approach me. So that's why I don't think we'll ever reconnect.
There's somebody backstage named JD. Your device is not connected, so I couldn't even bring you up if I wanted to. But show your face so I know who you are. Listen, Lisa's called me a bitch before and a pussy. Like, I get along with Lisa fine. We both know that we disagree on something. So I don't think Lisa's going to be mad at me for my opinion at all. Thank you so much, J Prime. You're my biggest supporter. I really appreciate you. Yeah, this is what bothers me is that I'm not going to put up that comment, but when Spartan is like outwardly abusive and calling her a J bitch and all of this stuff, it's like, I want to shake Elisa and be like, have a little more respect for yourself. Don't let that man talk to you like that.
Exactly.
But I'm not her. You know what I mean? So then I have to stop myself from expressing that.
Yeah, but if you care about her, obviously you don't want that stuff spread into her head every night for 6 hours a night.
Yeah.
Like, dude, it's unhealthy.
It's coming from a place of love too. It's not because I want to control her.
Her own mother tells her, like, this is not good. So is her mother jealous? No.
Like, I'm still the simp to everybody. It's funny. Yeah, no, her mom. I mean, I don't know what's going on with her mom or anything, but obviously you're not lying. I can't imagine that if her mom's watching that she likes that her daughter's being talked to like that by a seemingly crazy person that carries screwdrivers around in his pocket.
Then you have to call the police on basically 4 times.
Right. And that's like one of the
only... going back for more, like that battered woman syndrome. Like, I don't respect that shit. Like, man, grow the fuck up.
One of the only times I've really outwardly disagreed with her is when she called the cops on Spartan in that situation, because there were so many other times where she could have called on Spartan and she chose to call him on a weird time. And
through all those texts and phone calls and the messages she put in Discord, yeah, there was she could have easily had a case against him months ago, but did not pursue that. So
the only thing I disagree about with the call on the cops is that when she called the cops, she knew she would still be talking to him that night, kissing his ass. So why the fuck call the cops if you're just gonna keep doing the same thing over and over again?
And the cops,
it's retarded. It's insane, and that's why I say those things.
The cop said, "Do not do." Oh no, I'm not going to contact. And then 5 minutes later on the stream, it was like, "Oh no, we're I'm like, if this was serious and you thought this was a real threat, you're just going on with this again. This should
exactly.
It's a waste of time, like of the police's time, like at least to me. But
and I know there's like a portion out there that thinks A, it's script. It's not. B,
it's not a script.
The way she's going to defend, the way she'll defend it later on when she's done with Spartan and she's done with this, let's call it a storyline. When she's done with it, she's gonna, it was just art. I was just creating art. I was being creative about it. But it's bullshit. She's being insane and she's being stupid. That's the bottom line.
I've donated certain things in chat and people have been like, "Oh, this is scripted." I'm like, I'm watching it live and I've donated in Canada. How the fuck is this scripted that she went along with this? Like, this makes no sense to people.
Does Eric understand he's a simp? Wilma, Eric is
No.
a important part of Kermit and Friends, has been for a long time. He was very mentally unwell for a while. I think that he's coming back to being sane, but he has a lot further to go. And
The only bad thing with Eric
still
is
has a
that,
weird look about him, though.
constantly asking about the sex stuff.
Yeah,
that's
Oh my
what
God,
makes it
it's
so uncomfortable.
cringy.
Otherwise, it would be okay. But
it's very creepy. Tonight,
I feel
he
bad
asked
for him,
her-
and he
asked
was
her-
so nice to her the past couple weeks.
Yeah, and it's like tonight he asked her if when they're 90 and if they can be together, if he could go down on her when they're 90. It's like you can't. First of all, you can't mean that.
Yeah.
But secondly, like, dude, like that's like the most cringy thing you could possibly say. I will wait for you till you're 90 years old if you let me go down on you. It's like,
Yeah.
that's so pathetic.
Yeah, but
Oh.
there's something mentally off. It's not his fault. So let's try not to
And-
judge Eric too hard.
I love
No, I
Eric.
have.
At
you
least he's
have
not
to.
mean. At
How-
least he's not
How
mean.
old is Eric? How old is Eric? I have to.
He's
ask.
in his
30.
30s.
He's 30.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's 31,
Okay,
32.
so I'm 31. I'm sorry. I talked about Weezy the last show we did. I'm like, anybody? Okay, yeah, Lisa definitely doesn't say no. I don't like you, Eric, that way. It's not going to work. But Eric should be at least so self-aware that he should be like, okay, this is not working out. This is not how it's going to be.
But he's not.
He's not.
That's part of his sickness.
And
I
that's
think.
what
Yeah.
pisses me off because I donated a few times. I'm like, Elisa, just tell him how the fuck it is. Because
Yeah,
every
but-
stream it's going to be, oh, you don't like Spartan now. Oh, so is there a chance? Do you find
God, I'm
do you
old.
find
I'm
me
44
sexually
this month.
attractive? Do you find me sexually attractive, Elisa? Now that you don't like it's so fucking. It's not how
Yeah,
you
but-
act.
The Eric situation is harder to handle than the Spartan situation, I think, because he's a nice guy. He's not trying to
fed up
hurt
on
anyone.
Spartan too. He's like, oh, you don't like Spartan now, so like he
Well,
called in.
Yeah, but even
right away.
he brings up sex about Spartan all the time, which
Yes, yeah.
he makes it even more uncomfortable. So
Well,
I don't know,
Prime,
Eric.
You don't know, back in the day, Eric even threatened to kill me. He threatened to kill Elisa. He threatened to kill me. He said he was in the Secret Service
Yeah,
and he was
that's
going to
true.
have me killed. He has gotten way healthier since those days, but he literally went to a mental institution and then recently blamed that on Elisa. And it's like he has an
Well, I think
unhealthy-
Elaine convinced him to blame that on Elisa.
Exactly, 100%. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
And today he was saying he was Elaine's boyfriend, but then he's asking her all these sexual questions. It's like you have to pick and choose. You cannot have both.
He still looks like strange. It's just a look in his eye. Something about him I don't. Yeah.
I think he's a sweetheart with some quirks. Let's just put it that way. I don't think he has. I don't think he has like the evil streak that Spartan I think does. I think Spartan is unhinged.
But I think Eric at 30 at least, I feel because I did this in like my late 20s or not my early 20s. Like it was like you fixate on a girl, you think is going to be there, you want to do this, you're wasting your time and energy. Like you need to find somebody local that's like it's so sad.
And they were
To me.
sending her videos of jerking off too. I mean, come on.
Yes.
Eric was doing that backstage on Kermit and Friends. Like he would just be on camera stroking his wiener, and so that she could see that, like while she's doing a show. And I'm like, how do you even like?
Yeah, how can you be
You
around
can't-
someone like
Freaky.
that? I mean,
No
well, you
woman
can't.
wants that.
You cannot come back and say, oh, "Okay, well, do you think we could be boyfriend and girlfriend after that?"
Yeah.
I mean, but
Oh, and
I
by
think
the
it
way,
hurts.
I'm
I
dating
think it
Elaine,
hurts
but I
Elisa
like
because if Eric was normal, they probably would be married by now. If he just had like a normal brain
You
and
think
he fell in
so?
love with her like he did while they were working together, they'd be married right now. So
wow.
it's kind of like a tough situation. It sucks that he has, those mental disabilities.
wasn't she supposed to marry Benji at one time too?
I have
No,
idea.
he didn't want to get she wanted to marry him, but he didn't want to marry
that
her.
would have been a good thing by now.
No, but she took his money.
Johnny B. One
No,
thing
no,
I
no,
cannot
no, she
handle.
didn't.
I cannot handle people eating while they're on microphone. And Johnny, I can't handle it.
Sorry.
Thank you so
In
much.
fact, Weezy, that's my prediction of what's going to happen is that when Howard Stern ends, Benji is going to go move in with Elisa, and they're just going to live together
No.
forever. And no, I'm telling you, that's what I think is going to happen.
Somebody.
No,
I-
that
I-
was
I could see that happening, Leaf. I think that
Yeah,
she has a
'cause-
lot of love for Benji.
Yeah, and I think
Oh,
he's
she
going to come
loves,
to her
but you can
like
tell.
in a down place, and he's going to need some help if he thinks he can't get another, which he should have the confidence that he could get another job, but I think he's very insecure about that, very worried from what I've heard Elisa talk to Captain about, and she said in the Discord before. So I think that's going to happen, and I think if he does that, well, it depends if Howard ever does retire. So maybe I'm talking out of line. Even
I think Howard's
thinking-
going to be 90 years old on the radio.
Yeah.
That's why.
I
Yeah.
fucking hope not.
Fucking guy. I had to stop listening to him. Peace and
Oh,
love.
it's
Peace
so
and love.
bad.
But yeah, I don't think he's ever going to give up because as soon as he gives up, he's kicking the bucket.
I think if
probably
Robin
knows
had
that.
if Robin had passed away, he probably
Yeah.
would have retired.
Yeah,
But-
I think you're 100%.
But they're all,
right.
they're all Robin, Fred. They're still there. So, but anyway,
Well, Leaf, I appreciate you coming up here. I hope
so
that
good to hear
maybe
from you, Leaf.
Yeah.
if anything, this lets out some of the feelings and emotions. I hope personally that you and Elisa can have a talk about this off stream if you're both interested in it, even texting or whatever. And I really want you guys to be able to get along. I love both of you. And I hated seeing what I saw earlier. I thought it was hard to watch. So I'm hoping. Oh, we have. I don't want to interrupt myself, but I will. We have an absolute motherfucking legend that just popped up backstage. The host of Locker Room Talk on Man Cave Live, Meat Truck Mike, everybody.
Hey now, thanks, Easy. What's up, everybody? What's up, panel?
hey, Mike.
Hey,
How are you?
How many times do I have to repeat myself?
Are you talking over Meat Truck Mike?
Hey, I just wanted to comment on the Elisa Jordana IRL. So I feel just like a little bit different than you guys. She started. Do you guys get any backfeed at all on my audio?
No.
No, you sound good.
Okay,
Sound
cool.
great.
She started out doing Kermit and Friends, and I love the podcast. And when she said she wasn't going to do it anymore, I was like a little bit sad. And I was thinking about it because I was like, damn, I'm going to miss that one podcast every week because I enjoy it. I loved it. And Leaf, I thought you did a great job with it. I've always reached out and said really nice things to you. But I would rather have her doing the IRL than the podcast because we get more of her. I've seen her.
Yeah, that's why I agree with you, and I support it. That's why I supported her making that transition, and I didn't pressure her to keep doing KF.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've heard her say multiple times, like, I love doing IRL. When it comes to Captain content, I think she knew what she was doing. She dominated him. She took his viewers, and I believe one day she'll be just as big, if not bigger, than Ice Poseidon.
Wow.
I hope I hope like I said, there are times where I hope the worst happens, like she does something very stupid, but overall, I do hope you're right.
I do too.
She does succeed to that extent.
Well, her show
She
is
has the
rapidly
potential.
growing. Like it hasn't lost any steam at all. She's holding at least 500 to 600 viewers at a time, and the donos are rolling in. And she's doing it different. She's taking phone calls. So if you want to be on the show, you could just call a phone number and be a part of it. I think it's ingenious. And I think that what she's doing is it's almost like an artist, like somebody who's playing music that's before their time, and people are criticizing it, but they become like
that's what she's going to claim later. That's what. But really, what you're saying, she really is this crazy, Mike. I'm telling you, she's lost her mind.
There's no way. I don't think so.
No,
I think that,
I'm positive.
I think that everybody just needs to sit back and enjoy the show and stop being critical of it and let her just do her, because it's amazing. Like, I live in Los Angeles and I feel like I live a very cool life. Like, if I let I have some people I let see my life, and it's nothing compared to what Elisa, like living in LA, it's cool, but it's not what Elisa's doing. Like the last 3 nights, like I'm in business meetings and I'm not even watching the meeting. I'm watching Elisa do IRL. Like, she has me hooked. So whatever.
Yeah, well, none of us are denying the fact that she puts on a very entertaining show. That's definitely a fact, and we're all talking about it. So
Yeah, but everybody's so critical of what she's doing.
I think that Mike, if I could push back a little bit, that and I'm not speaking for Leaf, but his criticism comes from a place of him caring a lot about her and not wanting to see her go down this path. Whether that's warranted or not, I don't think it's because he's being critical because he wants her to fit in a box and she's not fitting in that box. I think that Leaf thinks that she's going into dangerous territory that's going to be unhealthy for her, and he's concerned for her. And
Yeah, like Mike doesn't really think Elisa's like Mike. Do you think Elisa that like her attraction to Spartan is fake? Like she's not really in love with him, like she says? Because I'm telling you, she is. She's that crazy. She talks to him, dude.
Hi,
Well, I
Gotham.
don't know if I should bring that up. What I talked about during the call about her father, but she tried to twist that and lie about it, make it about Honest Frank. That's not what happened. It was very disgusting, and I'm telling you, she's lost her mind to be so emotionally attached to this guy, talking to him like that for hours every night, and it has nothing to do with content. And she admits too, like nobody else calls her, nobody hits her off until she's on stream, and that's why that's the real reason why she lets all those calls come through during the stream is because when she's not streaming, she doesn't get calls. So she's addicted to that attention, and he's the one that gives it to her.
Well, that's what's confusing to me is that of all people, for her to be on 6 hours a night on somebody that talks to her like he does, he must not talk to her like that when they're on the phone one-on-one. There must be two different versions. I doubt he's calling her a.
Well, no, see, when I've talked to Spartan or when I've heard him in VC, like he'll be cool for 10 minutes and then just go completely different for the next 10 minutes. He goes back and forth. And I understand, like, okay, fine, she finds that entertaining. But I'm telling you, it's also driving her crazy. And it's bringing her to a dark place. And she's going to end up on a dark road. That's what I believe. And
I
we'll
hope
see
you're
what
wrong.
happens.
I hope you're wrong.
I hope I'm wrong too.
I can see why you think that. I don't think that personally. I think that lately she's been making decisions that are surprising me more and more. But I'm kind of the camp of like, what's going to be next? I'm not really, besides the Spartan danger effect, I don't think that she's like going downhill. I think that she's broadening her possibilities. I completely see why you feel the way you do, especially being so close to her for so long and how different this is than it used to be.
And I want to point out one thing too. I told her from the beginning, I think Jay Prime told her this too. If you just turn your camera on and start talking, you're going to receive support. You don't have to do all this crazy stuff every time. And she learned that today. All she did was invite a neighbor over, sat there and talked, and she made like $500, I would guess. Like, so her doing these crazy things, like, yeah, someone who cares about her is like, it's unnecessary. And she wants to say, oh, it's creative, it's for the art. And okay, what's artistic about you ended up in a ditch somewhere? Are you getting smacked? Or nobody wants to see you get hurt or be abused in any way. Like your fans, okay, I'm a fan, I'm just a fan, fine. As a fan, I don't want to see you abused. So when you take abuse like that, even from Moss, like I hated that shit. Was I jealous of Moss? No.
Leaf,
go ahead.
I want Elisa to hear what you just said, because you basically said the reason you're so passionate and pushing against this is because you don't want to see her end up in a ditch. Like, that's important that it's coming from that place instead of you trying to be like hyper controlling or a jealous hater. I don't think you're a jealous hater. You had that opportunity with the whole captain thing. You could have left back then. You could have been a nightmare back then. You are just looking out for her best interest, and she doesn't see it that way. That's my take on it.
Yeah, that's possible. I don't know, man. But time will tell what happens.
As a show, like, she's giving everybody she's giving you all the feelings. She's making you smile. She's making you laugh. She's making you angry. She's making you scared. That's what a good show is, and that's what she's providing. And I just think everybody should just sit back and just enjoy the show, because it's fucking amazing. It's really good.
Exactly.
Well, we'll see. But when you're burning every bridge, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, Lee. When you comment on me, Leaf, exactly. Elisa, like, I've noticed this because, like, I'm usually at work when she goes live, but I'm lucky enough that I can tune her on in the background. I can hear some of this, but when she goes live now, instantly within minutes, and it's not fucking bots. Everybody wants to complain. She has like 200 people within fucking minutes that go live and are chatting now. So her just turning on that camera, regardless of who she has, is the content. Like Elise always wants to go, oh, I need, and I agree. Like I love that she has a plan and everything, but really her by herself, and people complain about the donos and everything. Well, it's like, well, people wouldn't be complaining or people wouldn't be donating and wanting songs and everything if that wasn't the case. Like
Yeah, they want
clearly
to
she's making a
participate.
profit off it, as do I, and everybody, and everyone's like, oh, she shouldn't be doing this. She should go somewhere. Okay, maybe she should, but if she's profiting off of that, then
Hi, Danny, my
fucking
favorite
go do
friend.
your own stream and do something else.
I think that both of you guys are right. I think that Leaf is right, and I think Meat Truck is right. I think the difference is that Leaf has cared about this person for a very long time, and he sees her going down a darker path than the rest of us see her. Does that make Leaf wrong? No. But Meat Truck and Mike is right when he says just let her do her thing and sit back and be entertained. Both of those are right. Like none of us are wrong. It's just all opinions, you know. But there are emotions attached to it. And when Leaf called tonight, you could hear those emotions on both parties. There's just something there. And I want to be the peacemaker, and I want both of them to get along. I don't want either of them to have to like sacrifice how they feel to get along. And I think they could get along. I think that Leaf has been very, very vocal about his feelings towards her. And I think that if he is able to support her going forward, even though he might not agree with everything that she's doing, it'll be a much easier watch for Leaf. But if you keep Leaf, if you let yourself get so emotionally attached to it, it's just going to torture you.
Yeah. I mean,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. And I don't want people to worry about me.
Danny.
Like, I'm not the type to go hurt myself or to hurt anyone else. Like I'm just expressing how I feel, and that's it. I'm not going to cross any boundaries. I'm not going to try and hurt Elisa anyway. Not in person, not over the internet. Like I remember when I was upset last week, I kind of like made the little threat of making this documentary and putting time into it. But I was like, you know what? I don't want to put like 5-10 hours into making this documentary for it to be negative. Like I like to make positive stuff. And Elisa's streams have turned very negative, and the stuff with Spartan is just a big turnoff to me. I just don't like it. And I think it's going to end very badly, and we'll see what happens.
These comments are fucking hilarious. Bunch of gay dudes recapping non-tent. Oh.
Fuck you. Why are you watching?
I love it. I love those kind of comments.
I mean, that's one thing I do agree with Elisa about, the negative comments that they're contributing, they're participating. So
they're my
cool.
favorite ones. Yeah, they're definitely my favorite ones. Me too, Yelly. I loved that part a lot because Leaf doesn't usually.
I regret. I tried putting on a fake voice, but I regret doing that. Yeah, that was stupid.
Your fake voice.
Because all I wanted to know, the only reason why I cooked, I wanted at least explain how Spartan is alpha male, because Gonzo got under my skin when he said that. Yeah.
Now,
so
the funniest.
That's all I wanted to do, but she caught it right away. I don't know how she caught it because I called it with the Google voice, I think, unless I fucked up.
I'll tell you how she caught it, because basically I was listening with Trixie, right? And Trixie and Meat Truck and Eric. And when you called, I was like, is that Leaf? And then she's like, is this Leaf? And you said, no, this isn't Leaf. And you turned up your accent a little bit. And I was like, for a half second, I believe him because Leaf wouldn't fib. This must not be Leaf.
Yeah.
2 seconds later, I'm like, this is Leaf. And Trixie's like, is that Leaf? And I was like, yeah, okay, it's Leaf. Gonzo says he loves you more than Spartan. I don't doubt that for a half second. I don't think he was mad at you, Gonzo. I think that you trolling the alpha male.
Yeah, if you listen back, Gonzo, yeah.
Bye, Meat Truck. I love you.
I have a lot of respect and admiration for Gonzo.
Yeah,
and I think that's why. If it was anyone else who called and did that, I wouldn't have cared. But for him,
Leaf is the bomb.
Like, fuck, man, why did you do that?
Leaf is the bomb.
Impressions aren't Leaf's thing. That's what Yelly says.
Yeah, they're not. I can't. I'm not a performer.
Yeah, neither am I. I can never do an impression. Only I can do one, and that's Kenneth, the great Kenneth, who's back. I don't know. Okay, well, I was going to go through the video, but I think that we've said what needs to be said. Sorry that your mom made you get down, Meat Truck. We love you very much. Thank you, Leaf, for coming up here. I went 20 minutes longer than I usually go. I appreciate J Prime and Johnny B. I appreciate every comment. And I am just hoping that you and Elisa can get along moving forward. And that maybe, maybe, that this stream helped with that. But I don't know.
Yeah, I can't say I don't think we'll get along, but I'm not an antagonizer, so I'm not gonna constantly attack her or criticize her all the time. So I just won't be participating much. But when I do, I'm not gonna be on attack mode or nothing unless she attacks me first, and like I said, hurts my feelings. That's when I do get on attack. But like what happened today is a very rare thing. Won't happen again. I don't know why Gonzo triggered me, and I fucked up doing that.
No, I think that's good though in a sense because, like I said, you showed your emotions. When I agree, because when it's you and Elisa on the phone, I get that. I can see that emotion. I'm glad you called in, and because honestly, the stream shifted, and when everyone in chat was like, "Oh, it's Leaf, it's
Thank you,
Leaf,
Yellow.
Leaf," so everyone was like, "This was the whole thing," because it's a respect to you because people see what you do, especially with the clips you used
Thank
to
you,
do
IRL.
and everything.
Appreciate
like,
you.
We miss you, Leaf. Just saying that.
We do miss you, Leaf, very much. And
Thank you,
I
Jake.
want to say the last thing I'll say is that Johnny B, the guy that's right underneath me, has a show on this obscure site called You Now, where it's full of teenagers. And he does a show called Man Cave Live. He does it every night. He's done it for over 1,200 days. So if you guys want to be a supporter of Man Cave Live and watch his show, please go over to You Now and look for Johnny B. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Hey, Leaf, you're doing a really good white guy imitation too. You know.
Thank you.
You got me convinced, brother.
Thank you guys. Have a
I
good
love you,
night.
man.